Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania is known around the world for one thing: Groundhog Day. But long before the crowds arrive in February, we wanted to see what this town is like, how the tradition took shape, and what a visit to Gobblers Knob looks like when it's just a quiet stop on the road.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the quaint town of Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, home of everybody's favorite famous weatherman, Punxsutawney Phil. Here is a representation of Punxsutawney Phil, but even when it's not Groundhog's Day, who says that you can't actually see Punxsutawney Phil? Right over here, hanging out in the corner. You got glare from the light in here, but Phil's whole family. There's Phil and Phyllis, and he's got two kids now at this point. I'm not sure I remember their names. I'll try to add it in here. You see some back in there. Phil's family.
So how in the world did a small town in Pennsylvania become famous for asking a groundhog to predict the weather? Well, the tradition traces back to German immigrants who brought old European folklore with them. The idea that animals and their behaviors could predict the length of winter. So when they settled here in western Pennsylvania, they adapted that belief to the local wildlife, and in 1887, Punxsutawney held its very first official Groundhog Day celebration.
All roads lead to Punxsutawney. Here we are at the Punxsutawney Area Chamber of Commerce with a wood-carved Phil, the official souvenir shop as well. So we're going to check this out. They got all of these fantastic Phils around town. We got a map. We'll go hunting for them, and we'll head on down to Gobblers Knob. Chamber of Commerce, and it looks like, wait, Phil was here. He was walking in here at some point. So at the Punxsutawney Chamber of Commerce, you can get this map where it shows all of the fantastic Phils all around town, and a little map so you could chase them around, and an interactive map here with a QR code. So we'll see what we can find. You could spend all day looking for these, driving around town, walking around town. We'll see what we get to today. But we're gonna head on over down to Gobblers Knob. Get your fill of roses. I like this one. We're at Gobblers Knob, the home of Punxsutawney Phil. Inside the visitor center at Gobblers Knob, the staff there was quite helpful, telling us all about Phil and how Phil, the seer and prognosticator of all prognosticators, is able to foretell the weather and selecting whether or not he saw his shadow, and informing that to the president of the Groundhog Club in Groundhogese, who then informs the vice president as to which scroll to read. As the vice president writes two scrolls, one for an early winter, or an early spring, and the other for 6 more weeks of winter. So then the groundhog informs the president, who then informs the vice president, which is then read. And we can walk all the way down here, up to the stage here at Gobblers Knob. Somehow, Phil just knows to come down, that he needs to be here February 2nd. So every year, February 1st, he'll make his way down here. And it is from here that the president of the Groundhog Club will take the magic cane and tap on the log, tap on the stump, to wake up Phil, to bring Phil out, and to announce to the world what type of weather we plan on having. Well, it's Groundhog Day. Again. But it's not. the visitor center at Gobblers Knob, at the Chamber of Commerce. They also have information posters, signed posters, and kitschs from the Groundhog Day movie, which was not filmed here. It was filmed in Woodstock, Illinois, a town very similar to Punxsutawney, but I believe Woodstock had a town square that was more easily conducive to filming and for people coming around, a center type of town that Punxsutawney doesn't have. Gobblers Knob, by the way, if you plan on coming up here, Gobblers Knob is up a big hill, about a couple of miles outside of the main town. So unlike the movie where it's all right there, you would have to come up a hill out to the countryside, a couple of miles out. But this is a pretty neat place. So the next thing is we'll have to figure out how to brave the cold and the crowds and come on out for a February 2nd Groundhog Day, just to check the weather. At 24 feet tall, we have supposedly the world's tallest wooden groundhog here at Punxsutawney. Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania truly has embraced the groundhog tradition. So even when it's not February 2nd and all of the masses of people come on in to invade their small, tiny town, they have groundhogs everywhere. Places named after groundhogs. There's a Punxsutawney Phil's family restaurant down in town, just down the other side here. A groundhog zoo, Gobblers Knob, all here. Fun day in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. We'll have to come back for a February 2nd someday. We'll see you then. Pop up the music and join in the fun. The Pennsylvania polka. Do 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 do. I just want to sing the Pennsylvania polka here at Gobblers Knob.